We're going to go through this process right now, and I'm going to give you the 5 steps of lead gen arbitrage. So this is my framework, okay? A very high level framework. So number 1 is you're looking to find buyers. You find demand. So as an example here, you're looking for, let's say you're in the market for real estate, right? So here's the house. Well, you have the seller, and now you need to find a buyer, right? And then you have the real estate agents. Well, real estate agents could be looking for a seller or a buyer. So they would come to someone like me and say, can you help me out? Can you find a way to get me a seller? Because I want to list the house, right? Or can you find me buyers? I have a listing and I need to find buyers in this local area, right? Typically, for real estate agents, what they're looking for is to get the listing. That's more valuable. So when you're out in the market, right, if real estate agents came to me and said they wanted that, then in this scenario, 2 different audiences, right? The buyer and the seller. If it's the seller, the messaging and what I'm looking to do to generate that lead, to find that person who's selling their home, that wants to sell their home, that needs to speak to an agent, is going to be different than I have a home that I'm promoting and then I got to go find buyers for it. I think it's harder to find the seller than it is to find the buyer. But if you find a seller and the real estate agent gets that listing, right? Let's say they're selling that house for $1 million, right? And now the real estate agent gets that listing. And let's pretend that they are able to go and get the buyer. They have buyers, they got the seller, they're able to do both sides, and let's call it 5%. What is the commission on that? $50,000 for the real estate agent. Now, their firm gets some money. Maybe they didn't find the buyer and they're splitting it, so now it's 50-50, so they're getting $25,000. But still, at the end of the day, it's a nice pay cut, right? It's nice. Boom. Now, what's the lead worth? Well, there's a lot of things that go into that. We're not going to go into that today. I've gone over it a few times. I'm happy to do it again on a different episode. But for now, very high level is how many leads will convert for this agent into them getting the listing. And how much did they spend to get those leads? Got it? That then they back it out to that specific one and they figure out what it is they can afford per lead. Okay? Does that make sense? I hope that was simple. I've done it before. Once I get into math with people, their brains go wild. So I'm gonna try to stay away from the math a little bit today, but just so you know, they're going to figure out what the value is that they can afford for us finding a lead that is going to potentially, doesn't mean they are going to, potentially become a client of theirs. And they're going to give them the listing of their home. Okay? And in that case, once they tell me what they can pay me, I'm going to go out to the marketplace and do my thing. And number 2, right? First, I want to find the buyer. I want to make sure there's market demand. Now, I need to identify an opportunity where I can buy and sell a lead for profit. Number 1, find the buyer. Number 2, where can I do this? Now, that doesn't mean necessarily that I have to find where they are as the only thing. There's more to it, right? We talked about there's a lot of moving parts, right? We definitely have to know where our seller's hanging out, because we're doing this online, right? Where are the sellers online? Not only do we need to figure that part out, but we also have to figure out if we're able to get traffic to generate the lead for the seller for less than what the real estate agent's willing to pay me. We also want to see is what's the capacity? What's the volume here, right? You want to work with something that has scale, where you can do hundreds and thousands of leads per day, right? In this scenario, it's great, but like it's, to find the seller it's challenging. There's not that many houses, and you'll get a big payout, but you're also, ultimately relying on them closing this, versus like buyers. There's definitely more volume there. There's a lot more buyers, right? And it's a lot easier to generate a lead for a buyer than it is to find the seller that's going to sign with an agent exclusively versus a buyer that's going to sign up and then the agent has the ability to show them homes, right? Some agents don't have listings, so they still need buyers, and they bring a buyer that wants to buy something. This seller they got to sell it to them. If this is the best offer and they didn't bring the buyer, of course the sellers, they're going to try to do both sides. But listen, if you get the buyers, boom. So we need to figure out where. But the thing here, the arbitrage here, is where can we get this for less than what we're getting paid? Okay? And I'm not going to get into the math. I always want to because I'm like a math geek with this because it's all about the math, right? As you can see, it's all about understanding the math and then finding the differences. And that's how you arbitrage these leads, right? So how do you do that? Number 3 is you create an edge. So when you're out there, let's say that we identify a place where people are selling their homes on their own and we want to get them to talk to an agent, right? Well, what happens if we're buying these leads, right? Like, how do you do it? Where do you send them? How do you collect their information? Well, that's a good point, right? So in this scenario, you got to figure out how to do this to get some sort of edge. So either one, you're going to get an exclusive deal with the real estate agent, right? Now, the real estate agent might be like, I'll pay you on a lead basis, but they might do this deal with 10 companies. 10 companies that are trying to generate leads. Well, if it's the same offer that you're going out to the marketplace with, and there's people that are competing with you, well then what's different about you? Especially if it's not your traffic, right? If it's your traffic, it's a very different story. But for someone just getting started who has $0, doesn't really have much of a business, this is how you go. You got to find publishers that have traffic. You find publishers that have traffic, right? And you find that they don't have the buyer. That's really interesting, right? Now you have an opportunity. It gets exciting, right? We talk about this, and I tell people this all the time. The quickest way to become wealthy, quickest way to become rich is to find something that already works and introduce it to somebody that doesn't know about it, right? It's pretty simple. I don't know if anybody saw that movie yesterday with the guy with the Beatles where, he's a music guy and he hits his head and then he wakes up, right? But doesn't really realize he's like dreaming. And he sits and he starts playing a Beatles song, Yesterday. And then like a few people around him are just listening. And he's just kind of playing for fun. And they're like, can you keep playing that? Go. Like, and he's like, okay. And he goes through the whole thing and plays a song. And at the end, they're like, their mouths are like dropping. And the Beatles, one of the greatest bands of all time, are obviously pretty good, right? So in this scenario, the Beatles didn't exist. In his world, the Beatles didn't exist. So he starts singing all these different songs that the Beatles wrote, right? The Beatles wrote it, formed it, the whole thing. But in his world, his fantasy, he's now just playing songs about the Beatles, and he becomes the largest, most popular musician in the world. And they're like fans going crazy and screaming, but the whole, it's a silly movie, right? But like the whole point is like he found something that was already successful. And then in his fantasy, the Beatles didn't exist. So when he starts playing these songs, people gravitate to those songs because it's already a winning model, right? So in the same respect, if you could find something that's a winner And now you can go find somebody who doesn't know about the winner. That's a huge opportunity. Arbitrage, deals, right? It's not very hard, right? It alleviates a lot of work when you don't have to figure out what's working. You have the winning offer. Now you just got to find people that want it, that haven't heard about it. You got to find people that don't know. It's like this secret. Ooh, right? So in this scenario, when we're trying to do this, we're trying to create some edge. And usually when you have offers, you want to either be exclusive, or what you want to do is you want to control the traffic. You want to have a unique offer. So you can do like a co-brand of some sort, right? Where you can capture the lead, right, yourself, and then send it over to your real estate agent, the buyer. So rather than going out with the real estate agent's company or offer, you're going to go out with your own offer, like you're looking for sellers, right? So there's really not a lot of thinking here. You're looking at what's the offer that you are originally promoting. You kind of take everything that they're doing and you create your own little like front end lander to capture some data. And then, you can make up your own name, listings.com, Eric's Listings, whatever. Get somebody to sign up. You position it as, we're going to match you listing, with a real estate agent who's going to help you with getting you your house listed, getting you the best deal, getting you the most money, whatever their shtick is, right? But the whole idea is we're going to create an edge for ourselves, because once I create an offer like that, it's exclusive to me. I own it. No one else can run that offer because it's mine, right? Now, what's funding it is the back end buyer in this scenario, right? But the whole idea is when I go out to the market, when I go to the publishers that are driving traffic and I give them my offer versus the offer that I got from the advertiser, the buyer, they've never seen it before. It's unique. It's a new opportunity, and they're willing to run it. And that's the way that you create an edge, right? So once you do that, you create a market. This is the deal. This is the fun. Markets. And when you think of markets, like you could think of the stock market, right? A stock market is buyers and sellers, right? How do you create a market? Well, you ultimately find a buyer and find a seller. How do I create a market if I wanted to sell this Yeti cup? Well, I can go online and buy the Yeti cup for whatever this costs, I don't know, $50. And if I can create a market for someone that's willing to buy this from me, then I can arbitrage this cup, right? But where's my edge? If I got it for $50 online and I want to go sell it for $75, but they can go to Yeti.com and find this cup for $50, where's my edge? I don't have it. There's no edge. Can't do it, right? So how would I do it? How can I make that happen? Well, I have to figure out how to get, in this scenario, a cheaper price for this, if that's what I'm doing. And I'll give you an example of stuff like that in a moment, so you can see how this works online, not just for leads, but what other people are doing in the marketplace. But so the thing is that you got to find an edge to create a market, right? A buyer and seller, and it's got to work for you, right? You can find a buyer or seller, but it still needs to be profitable for you. If it's not profitable, then, sure. If you buy this for 50 and you sell it for 10, yeah, you're creating a market, but you're negative. And that's not the business we want to be in, right? We want to be in a business where we're going to be profitable, right? So similar types of things would be, people that are looking for auto insurance, people that are looking for, just to give you an idea of like different kind of buyers, like auto insurance lead, right? Someone interested in getting a credit card, someone looking for a new job, somebody that wants to learn how to build funnels, someone wants to learn how to buy Facebook ads, someone wants to learn about copywriting, someone wants to learn about how to go back to school without spending any money, how to get a government grant. The beauty of our business, of the lead business, is there's always an opportunity if there's companies in the world that are looking to scale their business and grow, because leads are the fuel that drive the business, right? You need new leads to come in so you have a pipeline to get new sales, new customers. That's it. right? How you do it, if you're able to do it without spending any money, awesome, right? I remember doing a deal with Costco one time, and they don't want to buy leads. They said they don't need to. I can make the argument that you do, right? Because whatever they were getting, I can 10x that by implementing a program for them. But who's to argue with Costco? They're pretty successful. They know what they're doing. So I move on to another offer, right? I mean, it's as simple as that. But the thing is that it's recession proof, and that's the beauty of this. But the point is like, forget real estate agents. Someone that's looking for auto insurance, there'll be a bunch of buyers like auto insurance companies, right? Someone's looking to get a mortgage, right? Someone that's looking to take out a credit card, right? Or get a new job or go back to school. There's getting a moving company, remodeling your kitchen, new window shades. I mean, the sky is the limit. You can play anywhere you want. That's the beauty of this. And really, you just got to follow this little framework here of, is there market demand for what you want to do, right? Are there buyers? Where can you do this? Where can you go find the buyers? And where can you find the buyers where you can be profitable? Then you got to create an edge for yourself, right? Because if you have an offer, you can go get an offer that everybody in the world has, right? You can go get a lending tree, LifeLock, some kind of offer that anybody can get. 20, 50 companies might have it. You create an edge for yourself, right? Maybe you put some sort of like private label brand on the front end to get the lead to you, to your property, your own and operated property. Generate the lead in your database, okay? Like, we'll do things where we'll take a lot more risk, right? I don't recommend this for people that are just starting their business, but we'll do things where I'll go and generate a lead. I'll pay for that lead, right? But I still need to get that person to go over to my buyer and buy something. I'll do that. And I arbitrage that media, that lead, right? So I do that with companies all day long. And when I find the right mix, the opportunity is huge, right? But you're creating a market, and you watch the cash flow just come in. And when you create cash flow is king, okay? When you're starting a company, you need cash flow. Like, the agencies out there, they struggle. It's hard because you get a client, they're paying you, but that's it. That's it. You're done. Maybe you put some sort of like deal on like some upside, great. But you got to go and get another client. But you also got to service the agency that you just got to deal with. So if you're one person trying to do that, you're getting pulled in all these directions because now you're trying to find new clients and you got to also deliver on what you promised, right? It's hard, especially when you're just getting started. Now, listen, it's a means to an end. If you can do it, great, for a few months while you start to build up your business and get it going. But in this scenario, I can go and find somebody that's willing to pay me for a sale, right? Let's say a home security company is willing to pay me for an install, or a solar company's willing to pay me for a homeowner who's going to put solar on their roof, right? What are they willing to pay me? What's the sale? It's the arbitrage is there, right? We're still kind of figuring out, can we do it, right? Does it work? Does the math work, right? We got to figure out, are there sellers? Is there some demand? And then does the math work with where we want to go onto the market online and buy media to make it work, right? So, simple. If they were to, let's say they were willing to pay me $1,000 for someone that was going to install solar. So $1,000 a sale, right? Well, then I can go, right? I have a deal where a solar company is going to pay me $1,000 for a sale. Okay, great. They don't want to pay for a lead. Well, I can either walk away from the deal, or if I think that there's a market out there that I can now take this asset and be able to now generate leads for less than what the conversion rate will be for the sale, I can be profitable, right? And if I'm really good at what I do, I could be really profitable. I could have extremely large margins, and that happens a lot, right? So if I went out there and I was able to go buy leads. Let's say I generated 100 leads. Let's say that cost per lead was $5. What I spent? $500 in spend for those leads. If they convert one buyer, I get $1,000. Oh my goodness, right? You're like, holy cow. Now, if you do a really good job and drive good traffic, high quality users that have intent, if you understand how to do that, this is powerful, right? What happens if they convert 3% of the leads? Now I got 3 buyers. That's $3,000 for my $500 spend. Cost $500. It's $2,500. Boom. Let's say you do that every day. That's $2,500 times 30, $75,000 net profit. Boom. I mean, it's as simple as that. And I know it's not simple, but I'm just saying, right? And that's all from getting a deal from somebody willing to pay you $1,000 a sale to install solar. And we're going to arbitrage media, right? We're going to go and do some arbitrage. We're going to go generate some leads in this instance, right? And I'm somebody that would take that kind of risk, right? I can do that. I'm in a position to do that. If you're newer, go find a deal where someone's willing to pay you on a lead, right? Instead of on a sale. Lower your risk. By doing that, if someone says, I'll pay you $5 a lead, right? Well, you got to figure out how to generate that lead for less than $5. The thing is that if you backed it out on what the value per lead is, you would take that $2,500 and you divide it by the 100 leads, right? So what is that? $25 RPL. So it's a $25 revenue per lead, right? I'm generating these leads for $5. Could you imagine if the solar company hired me? If I was working in their department and I was able to do this for them, they would love me, right? Because they're paying 5 times the amount for a customer, but they don't know. That's not what they do, right? It's what I do, right? So when you understand how to do this, you can find real opportunities to arbitrage here, right? Arbitrage the media, lead gen arbitrage. Ultimately taking a lead and finding the difference, right? Because right now, I'm ultimately creating a market that says, I can generate a lead for $5. When I go and I generate this solar lead with some company over here in step 2, right? Some publisher that's driving leads. Well, they don't, one, have the buyer, but even if they did have the buyer for this solar company, right? I'm creating an edge for myself. How do I create an edge? Well, I'm turning this cost per sale offer into a cost per lead offer. And companies will take that all day long, right? The less risk they have to take, the better. Easier conversion, the better. Because they can monetize their traffic, because that's what they're trying to do, right? So by me being able to do this, by being able to create an edge by, even just turning this into a lead, so I create a little front end page with generating leads on people interested in generating, potentially putting solar in their home, and then I'm sending that through their process, same process. I don't change anything. I don't have to do anything other than until they close, I don't get paid the $1,000. So I got to wait and see what's the conversion rate on these 100 leads. So there's some time, right? I can get run over, but you limit how much you spend on what you're willing to spend. And boom, if I can do this, I would be making $75,000 a month on one offer by just arbitraging media, right? $75,000 times 12. What is that? 750. That's $900,000. Anybody want to have a side gig where they can generate $900,000 a year? You can still stay at your job if you like it, right? Or maybe not. Maybe you can leave your job if you're generating $900,000 a year. It's a lot of money, right? It's a lot of money. Imagine if you had 5 of those deals, $4.5 million in net profit for your company by you arbitraging media, by you understanding this concept, right? If you can understand this concept, right? Lead gen arbitrage. Category kings, lead gen arbitrage, 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 arbitrage. Yeah, I mean, it's gorgeous, guys. It's gorgeous. Oh my goodness, there's just so much opportunity. And I'll give you another example, very simple example that almost every person in the world is a part of today. And I think I'll close it with this so you can understand it. So it's so super simple. And I'd love to get feedback on if I'm explaining this, packaging it to simple, or if I'm not, I'd love to get feedback on how I can do that, because to me, it just makes so much sense. It's the way my brain works. But Amazon.com, we all know Amazon, right? Amazon is, by the way, one of the largest search engines in the world, right? People don't know that. They don't realize that. But Amazon's a search engine. And what they do is they allow people to come onto their platform and sell things, right? Have you guys ever heard of drop shipping, right? In this scenario, right, for Amazon, a buddy of mine in town does this, and he does really, really well. He can go and find an asset and find the difference in price that someone's willing to pay versus what he needs to pay to get that product to be listed on Amazon, right? So let's say it's socks, right? I'll give you a very simple example. Let's say that in your local Target, they're having some sale on these 10 pair of socks that normally sell for $10, right? Your local Target, right, is selling 10 pack of socks normally for $10, but it's a 50% sale. So now it's worth $5. You, smarty pants here, knows the market. They know. Go on your phone, you look, say, okay, 10 pack of socks, what's it going for? You could potentially find the exact pair of socks that's being sold on Amazon. That could happen, right? But they look, they see, they say, oh my God, I could sell these socks for $10. Well, they're going to take package 1, package 2, package 3, package 4, package 5. I'll take all those socks, right? Target's like, you're walking up to the counter with all these, like, you're just holding all these bags of like 10 pack of socks. So you're buying like as many as you can, right? I mean, why not? Why not? You're fronting the money, but you know you can move it, right? On Amazon. So you go and buy this. Let's say you buy 10 packs, 10 packs of socks, 10 packs of 10 pack socks, right? For $5. You're spending $50 at Target. Boom, right? Now you go onto Amazon and you go and you list. Here's Amazon. And you go and you list your 10 pack for $10, right? Because that's the market. That's what people are really paying. But for whatever reason, your local Target just wants to get rid of them. There's an arbitrage opportunity here, right? You're identifying, whoa, I can do this. Whoa, right? Maybe if everybody's selling them for 10 and you just bought it for 5, maybe you offer it for 9. Now the price is attractive. You're still making $4 per, right? Of course, there has to be scale, right? That's the capacity, that's the demand. That's ultimately, like, you got to have enough buyers that want to buy it. And you also have to have enough of the product if you're doing something like this, right? In my scenario, it's on leads, right? I'm not going out and getting socks at local Target. I'm looking for leads. Like, it's attractive to me because it's scalable, right? When I have something that's working with some of these bigger companies, they'll buy thousands, hundreds of thousands of leads. If I'm arbitraging into a sale, I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? I mean, it's gorgeous. But let's say you go on here, you do that, and then you move one happy buyer, another happy buyer, another happy buyer, and let's say you did it for $9, right? So they got $1 off. So you have all these happy buyers, plus let's say you moved it to all 10, right? So now you sold 10 packs of 10 pairs, and you made 5 minus 9, $4, right? $4 times the 10 equals $40 in profit. I mean, that is as simple as it gets, okay? If you guys don't understand that, you gotta someone's gotta tell me, because I'll do it, but that is as simple as it gets. I mean, arbitrage. They call that retail arbitrage, right? Lead gen arbitrage. You know, I'll tell you guys, I just bought a little present for myself. I actually bought it a while ago. I bought a Porsche. Yeah, 911 Turbo S. And I've never really done that before. I've never bought myself anything like this before. It was a big purchase. But you can't get them right now. You literally cannot get a Porsche. I bought it. I went in, with these guys and I paid for it. I put a down payment down months ago, almost a year ago. And I literally got a call to build it a few months ago. And now I still don't have it. I mean, I think I may even bought it in February. And now it's expected to be delivered in the beginning of December. Yeah, I think he said December 3rd, but he said don't count on that. I mean, with what's going on in the world, there's no cars, right? There's no parts. So guess what, guys? I can sell my allocation right now, right? I put a down payment down, right? But I can go and there's people that want Porsches right now. I'm getting mine in December. I could go and sell this for 20, 30, 40 grand and make quick money, without doing anything. I'll get my down payment back plus whatever on top of that. Arbitraging a Porsche allocation. I can go and say I want another Porsche right now and just wait till they give me the Porsche and then go online and find a buyer who's interested in Porsches, who's willing to buy my allocation, and I would have never have exchanged any real money. I made money on just an opportunity. I mean, that's it, right? That's not worth it to me, right? I want it. I want this bad boy, and I'll show you guys it. I'm pretty psyched. I heard it's awesome. I mean, people either love Porsches or they're just not into it. I don't know much about it, but every person's it's the greatest. So I'm pretty excited to see what it's all about. But yeah, I mean, that's what's going on. I mean, in the car industry today, they're raping people. A buddy of mine wanted to buy a G-Wagon. The listing price for the G-Wagon was $177,000 for the car, right? And he was considering to buy it. He wanted to buy it. And he said that the dealers want an extra $125,000 on top of MSRP. So normally they would sell the car for $177,000 and they'd make their profits and everybody would be psyched. And they want $125,000 more because they're not making any more, right? That's all about scarcity, right? Supply, demand. But if I were able to go buy that, if I could find somebody willing to sell me a G-Wagon for $177,000, very similar car, if I could find somebody willing to do that, maybe I pay $10 above, $187,000, but there's buyers out there willing to pay $300,000 for it, I can make a quick $100,000. Arbitrage. That's it. So I hope you guys understand this. This is what I do. Lead gen arbitrage. So listen, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. If you think this is value add, share it with somebody. I mean, it's showing you how to make money. Yeah, I mean, you can make, earlier example, $75,000 a month, $900,000 a year. I mean, come on. That's pretty good. Pretty good. You'd be in the 1% of earners in the world, or at least in the US, I would guess. Probably in the world. So subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to this podcast. Subscribe. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you guys listening. I love when you guys, ask me questions. It's really helpful. I love helping people. If you want to join my text community, 917-636-1998. You just got to text me, and then you get added, and then we can shoot messages back and forth. But yeah, I mean, this is it. This is what I do. I'm paying it forward. Not asking you guys for $1. This is gold right here. Absolute gold. Anybody can take this video, watch it step by step, do it slowly, listen to what I'm telling you step by step, and you can do this. And I'm curious if no one's going to, I wonder if you guys will even get through this, but if someone listened this long, right, and you would want to be taught this, let me know. I'd love to know that you're interested in learning arbitrage, lead gen arbitrage. Who knows? If enough people want to learn this, maybe I will do it. Maybe I will ultimately start to do it. I will put the time in and the energy. I will build out a program to show you guys how I do this, how I built my business. This is it, guys. This is what I do. This is my whole life. I arbitrage everything. And I love it. And I love deal make. It's like doing deals. You're moving and shaking. You don't need to do anything at times. Like, if you set the deal up the right way where you pay on collected revenue, well, you do a deal with somebody, you get the leads, and then when I get paid, I pay you. I never took $1 out of my pocket, and I'm just keeping the difference. So, guys, that's it. Eric Beer, performance marketer, lead gen arbitrage. I'm a performance marketer, arbitrager. Category king of lead gen arbitrage. Arbitrage. Yeah, gonna have to get used to that. But guys, appreciate you guys being here. Thankful. That said, I'm out. Have a good, and go get some. Start creating cash flow. Go arbitraging media. Make you guys some money. Thanks again for watching. See you soon.